Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get your skate every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
That's right. Hello, everybody. It is the KVJ After the Show podcast. That's right. How you feeling after knocking down them 6.5 Big Macs on the regular show, Jaybird?
I don't feel that good, Kevin.
Okay.
That's pretty much all I have to report on.
I get it.
I just don't feel that good.
Okay. Yeah, there's a tweet that we got from Haitian Mbaku who said, yeah, I'm not proud of it, but I once ate 10 Big Macs in one sitting. I got dared on a buy one, get one for a penny day. It definitely doesn't taste good after the 5th or 6th one.
Well, that's just it about those eating challenges. After 2 or 3, the enjoyment runs and you're just like, oh boy.
Now you're just a beast.
Yeah.
And you have to do it for the love of the craft.
Well, the food you once loved now becomes repulsive to you because it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
How long before you can ever enjoy a Big Mac again?
I don't know, because after the popcorn challenge, and I was in the hospital for almost 3 days for that thing, once I kind of got back to normal, I was back to eating popcorn pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Keep in mind, too, the popcorn I was eating during the popcorn challenge had no butter or salt on it.
Wow.
So I wouldn't even call it real popcorn at that point.
Some gave all.
Yeah.
I know. I'm talking about it like it's the home run of the 19...
USA.
Yes.
USA.
Our country needs heroes like you.
He actually pulled his shoulder, patting himself on the back.
I know, man. What a dumbass.
You're fine.
Well, I got some emails here. Yes, there is some coronavirus-based stuff that is going around. People just all trying to figure it out, but I figure if we have a discussion about it, then maybe be like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Different thing to think about. Just have that open discussion here. Anna said, hey, I want to know, I had to take a flight last Friday from Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta. My brother picked me up so we could drive to Denver because he just moved there. We went through Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Kansas, and Colorado, and I flew back Sunday and had 2 flights. Delta did make us younger ones switch with older people, which was cool, but because of 30 hours of driving plus, traveling back and forth multiple flights, I'm concerned if I should get tested. My boss is a cancer survivor. A coworker has bronchitis acute, and I don't want to get anyone sick, even though I don't think I have it, but you never know. I had a mask, had wipes, and wiped down my seat with others and kept washing my hands throughout my travel. If you were me, would you try to get tested, or would you just let it be? I'm 29, so I know it's less harmful for me, but I want anyone to get sick just in case. Hope you guys will stay on the air during the craziness. Yeah, this is one of the big questions, I think, going around for a lot of people. We've had several situations that have come up that we've already talked about on the show, from somebody wanting to go to a wedding, somebody else whose girlfriend or whatever it was went to brunch, and now they're like going, look, I'm going to be around my grandmother. She can't be around this kind of stuff. It seems like, what is going on right now is that you should probably disclose somebody. I think a lot of people are hopefully getting close to these social distancing levels that they need to be. And if you have gone on something like this, probably just be open and honest to somebody and let them know. And 5 days seems to be where you're going to see any kind of effects. Now, the thing about everybody running out and getting tested, yesterday I brought up, they only had the capacity to test 120 people between Palm Beach and Broward County yesterday.
And they won't test you. So if you go right now and try to get tested this week, you can't get one. You have to either be really, really wealthy and somehow in the know or in the inside with a private testing lab company right now. If you go to the health department, there's a wait list to get tested, and you're not going to see anybody till the end of April.
I saw on social media someone was ranting about how they called their doctor because they had the symptoms, and they said they couldn't get tested until April 15th.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. There's not enough tests right now. And unless you have some kind of inside track to get a test, there's no way they're going to test an asymptomatic person.
And they want to set up the drive-up testing because they don't want, and doctors don't want sick people with coronavirus coming to their offices. And then it just becomes a cesspool. Let's say you don't have it, but you go to the doctor's office and somebody who's been in or had coronavirus did. Now, guess what? You're leaving the doctor's office. You were fine going in, but when you're leaving, you got coronavirus. So that's, all the stuff that they're going to have to set up, and they don't necessarily right now have the capacity for that. And that's probably one of the things that will change. We'll get things in place to be prepared for these kind of things in the future. Bill Gates was talking about this in 2016 or 14, whichever year it was. He's doing a TED Talk, and he was saying that we need to do military exercises like you would against, where you have soldiers out running around and you see like Al-Qaeda's climbing on monkey bars. We need to have people that are kind of going through the drill and the routine of what it would be like to set up all these kind of things so that if we do have a viral outbreak, that we are practiced and ready and have the resources to roll out a moment's notice. And you can see right now we don't have that.
But if you want to live your life and be guilt-free about all your interactions, what they're saying right now is live your life like you do have it. So if you did have it, what would you do? You would go into isolation. Not quarantine, isolation. Isolation means that you put yourself in a room and you lock yourself up and you don't have contact with any people.
And I think you can learn something about yourself if you dig deep enough.
If we all did that for 3 weeks, you would see the curve flatten.
What if we did that and then kind of just got off social media, meditated? What if everybody did that? Just kind of calmed, cooled their jets, and then in 3 weeks or a month, keep in mind, everyone would have to do this. How would the world look? Would it look a lot different?
Well, I'd be scared like Jared Leto when I came back out. What kind of shit would I find? That guy went and meditated in the desert for 12 days. He comes back out and the world's on lockdown.
That is such a funny story because he was so geared up to attack the world.
He's such a rich, peaceful hippie.
Yes.
Like, he has the means to do whatever, whenever. So he was like, I'm going to get in one with my mind, body, spirit. I'm going to go to the desert for 12 days and not have any social media. I'm going to come out such a better human. He came out and probably shit himself.
I'm going to feel real charged. It's going to be great.
Oh, he eats a lot of fiber, too, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, New York is closed.
He probably had the biggest soy shit ever.
New York is closed.
That's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the funniest story I saw today.
Well, because for us, it's been kind of like a slow drip. We're getting it, but just to all of a sudden
get it all at once.
There's a pandemic in the world.
In the past 12 days, it did what?
Well, here's what they got right now. Chinese scientists have found that the average time from the first symptom to shortness of breath was 5 days, and time to hospital admission was 7 days. They say most people who contract the virus will recover fully within a week. A typical patient may be infected for 5 days or more without showing symptoms. So, use all this in your judgment on how you self-quarantine and how you disclose where you've been to people who have compromised immune systems. And they said because COVID-19 shares characteristics with the common cold, it's difficult for a lot of people to know if they have it or not.
Well, if you are asymptomatic, it doesn't matter if you're going in front of 5 people, 3 people, or 10 people. If you got it and you're around just one, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I don't understand the whole. There's a lot I don't understand.
But if you act like you have it and you just don't expose people to it, then you're doing yourself and others a huge service. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have to get to that, of course, because people are like, you ain't taking away my freedoms. We're not there yet. But I think we're just going to have to get that.
Do you see in the future us going to Skype, Kevin? Because I know there's some broadcasters doing that. I'm starting to see major places starting to send reporters home, and they're Skyping from their house.
Yeah, it's happening a little bit more and more. Motor City Mongo, I said yesterday, he's in Detroit, and he said a lot of morning shows there were doing that, and I've heard chatter of it. We'll have a discussion after the show podcast, find out, if that's something where you have to start doing it from our house. You can still kind of do the show, you can still talk, but there is a little bit, you can notice the difference in the sound, and I think it would be a little bit more challenging. I like being in the same room with everybody, but we'll figure that out. The good news is if by doing all this self-quarantine, they're saying like in mainland China, there was only one reported new case of coronavirus on Monday. And they say if that's true, the spread is definitely tapering off. So, that's some of the good news, and that's the argument for just, take it in the nuts and
So when you take it in the nuts
regroup.
for 3 weeks and you're regrouping, so no one's getting it, but if they start going back out into public, will they start getting it again?
Well, I guess they figure that it's not out and the people don't have it. You found the people that have it. No new cases are happening. Those people are being treated. They're recovering. They're going back out, and so you just don't have people that really have it.
And you don't have the healthcare system being taxed, where you'll have doctors having to decide who lives and dies.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's real.
I know. I know.
Well, the good news is they said a team in Australia believes they found a way to cure the virus and are going to start human trials before the end of the month. So
good.
That might be, who knows? We might have a breakthrough and somebody says, we thought it was going to take 6 months at least or 18 months, but no, hey, here you go.
A hero steps up, finds the cure.
Well, anybody who's working on anything medically, can y'all drop that and pick this up?
I think a lot of them are. Yeah.
That should be what's going on, and so put the best and brightest on it.
But think about it, though. There's still all of those other ailments out there that you need the best and the brightest to continue to combat as well, too.
I hear you, but if this one takes you out, whatever else you got don't matter.
Yeah, so we'll see. Thank you.
There's that rosy disposition.
They call me sunshine.
I mean, every time one of us tries to be positive, but motherfuckers are dying, Bird. Like, all right.
I'm giving it to you real. You want some real shit?
Real depressing.
Come to me.
Well, here's a breakdown because I have been looking at it. Here's what they've got right now. They say that more than 185,000 confirmed cases worldwide in more than 100 countries and territories. More than 7,330 deaths. They say in the U.S. there are more than 6,500 confirmed cases with at least 114 deaths. There are 216 cases in the state of Florida. Broward had 48, Miami-Dade with 40, Palm Beach County up to 10. That's where we are with it right now. I was kind of looking a little bit deeper. I was reading a New York Times article, kind of breaking it down because I think, as much as you're hearing about the coronavirus, how much do you really know about the coronavirus?
Not much.
And comparing it to the other things, because people always hit you with a seasonal flu. Well, okay. Well, what's going on here?
Yeah, I know.
You heard that a gazillion times.
Big time. We're hoping for the warm weather to push it out, Virginia.
Yeah. So this, I thought, was really succinct and kind of broke it down because I know people throw that in your face and the numbers spin you around. This actually gave me a little bit of clarity. Hopefully, maybe it will for you, too. The coronavirus death rate seems to be 1.4%. May not mean a lot to you, but the death rate of a severe seasonal flu is below 1%. So
it's hitting at a higher level here.
At a higher level. So that's a comparative number that I know a lot of people are throwing out, and that's where some of the misinformation comes as people are taking that. So I was like, okay, that dials it down pretty well.
Well, they're two different things.
Yeah.
You're comparing two different things.
Coronavirus is 1.4%, and the severe seasonal flu is 1%. They'll throw in other numbers to be like, look, everybody dies from the flu, and coronavirus isn't nearly that bad. Well, that's, not necessarily true.
And they'll throw a year in there to kind of spin. Back in 96.
1918, that's the year they throw in there. They'll throw in the Spanish flu. Now, that one had an unusually high fatality rate. That was around 2%. So that was actually worse than the coronavirus.
I heard, too, at that Spanish flu that the second bout of it was even worse than the first. So
Might have been, yeah.
They had one bout of it, and I don't know if they slowed it down or whatever, but they had another surge, and they said on the back end was the worst part of it.
Good heavens.
That's according to something I read on Twitter. About 43% of that's correct.
They say that each person with the coronavirus appears to infect 2.5 other people on average. And by comparison, the figure for the seasonal flu is roughly 1.3. So you see, to me, when I read that summed up a lot of stuff for me. When you dial it down and you say, okay, the coronavirus is more deadly than the seasonal flu, and you infect people at a faster rate than the seasonal flu.
It's twice as catchy.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Lucky we have someone smart in the chat room. Birdney, our producer for Weird and Whatever, did the math. 1.4% is about 4.9 million people in the USA.
Okay.
4.9, Virginia.
It's a lot.
You crunching those numbers?
No.
There you go.
You don't want me crunching anything with numbers.
The thing that was kind of interesting, though, is everybody will throw this at you. In the current season, though, and again, coronavirus, I guess, more contagious, more deadly. In the current season, there have been at least 34 million cases of flu in the United States, 350,000 hospitalizations, and 20,000 flu deaths. So that's in the current season.
The 2020 season?
Yeah.
So
whatever this flu season is.
So is that what they would count it as? January 1 from now?
I don't have the calendar, but it's whatever they consider the current flu season.
They wouldn't have a football season type of thing where it's half of 19 to half of 20. You know what I mean?
No.
All right. Damn it.
I mean, I can lie to you, but I mean, I don't think I do, and I don't think anybody listening does.
You're such a meanie.
The numbers are high. What the fuck did he say?
Get out of here. Fuck this, man. I don't like being disrespected. I'm out.
Yeah, because when I was reading this New York Times article, I was looking at what is going on currently. Yes, the seasonal flu has the lead if you're looking at the score, but they might be in the fourth quarter, whereas the coronavirus is in the first quarter.
Totally.
Yeah. So currently the World Health Organization reports there are more than 100,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 across the globe and more than 3,400 deaths. So, and that's globally compared to the number I just gave you for just the U.S. And there is an epidemiologist at Harvard that estimates it's plausible that 20 to 60% of adults will catch the disease.
That's a kind of a big net to cast. 20 to 60%?
It is a wide margin, yeah. And this guy actually had to retool after he came out with a really wrong margin first. And they're going, dude, no way. And then he's like, well, maybe 20 to 60. So
20 to 60.
He's like, but I'm from Harvard, so listen to me.
There's a 20 to 60% chance you might get fired. Well, that's fuck.
Yes.
It's a big difference in that 60 range.
I don't know. For us, that's a good.
Yeah, so that's what you're looking at. But the thing that I think is getting people's attention, because even my dad, everybody's got some kind of comment. My dad's like going, you know what? He's like, look, he's like, this is destroying world economies and causing all kinds of chaos. If it's just for older people, let us fend for ourselves, and you young kids just go ahead and live your life. And I was like, yeah, Dad, I don't think it really works like that. And this is one that gets people's attention here. This is the one to pay attention to. In France, they say more than half of the coronavirus patients in intensive care are under 60. So they're saying this is showing it's not just a disease that affects elderly like you originally thought.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So there you go. So,
but
that,
again,
some stuff.
But again, social distancing.
Yeah, I think the way that we're on it, I think fortunately for us, we weren't the testing country. It started in China to start going around the reverse angle, and now we're kind of the last to get to it.
So we know what to do.
Yeah, we're just watching.
We're just not doing it.
Well, I don't know about that. I think that it's getting better.
You gotta shut the shit down.
Well, I think it's getting better, and I think they're getting there.
Remember last week, Virginia was going, if you want to be open, you be open. I'm not telling
I don't think the government should tell you to shut. I think you should shut.
Mm-hmm. So if you're in charge if Virginia was in charge of everything, do you shut down restaurants?
I think you have to. You shut them down for a month or 3 weeks or whatever it takes, and you get this thing flattened.
Do you shut down delivery services? Can they not deliver? You've got a restaurant of 7 people making food. Do you shut that down?
I don't know. I would defer to the CDC and ask them. I think you have to.
I'm so trying to impeach you. Yeah. If you're in charge, I don't like how you're running the country right now. I don't like it. Shutting down delivery? Fuck that. Don't you come for my buns.
You have the flattest ass ever. Nobody's coming for your buns.
They say right now that 76% of Americans say they're practicing social distancing. That's 76%. That means 24% are like, fuck it. 32% of people say that they've had to cancel travel plans, which I know a lot of people have. Me included in that 32, but 76%. So there's 24 that are just, I'm going to live my life.
So Bigfoot's wedding has been postponed, so I've kind of fallen off my diet a little bit.
Okay.
He was trying to get all skinny and cute for the wedding because there's going to be a bunch of girls.
No,
love is in the air.
No, because I don't fit into my suit right now.
Everybody loves to hook up with a bridesmaid.
Well, that is true. Weddings makes a lot of people horny. A lot of people horny. It does, man. I don't know, love is in the air, but lust, baby.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
No, I think the idea of, love.
Let's get drunk. And he's single. He looks good. Let's do him.
Let's do it. I hope it kind of goes that way.
That's what every single guy who goes to a wedding is hoping.
No, that's a kick-ass wedding.
Little note from the chat room earlier from Nurse Schmidt. She said, if you want to read something about epidemiology prediction, read the Imperial College report and models that they ran on COVID-19 and why social distancing and strict quarantine matters. So if you want to read a little bit more on it, that might be stuff to do. I'm enjoying reading stuff like that New York Times article more than I am just sitting there letting the TV run.
Well, because
I'm getting the stuff I want to see. And I want to, like, when I really read those numbers, that's what I want to see. Because people are texting me and emailing me, and my dad's like, screw old people. So I want specificity so I can see exactly in a clear picture.
Keep in mind, too, the people on the news, a lot of it's opinion-based. It's a hybrid of some facts and then blah, 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 political.
Well, for a while, I was like, okay, I was putting on CNN and Fox News, and I was going back and forth and just listening to what everybody was saying. But then I realized, no, you can't do that because it's just too muddy. I'm only watching the nightly news, but I'm watching all 3 major networks.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped watching the CNN, Fox News, daily updates, minute-by-minute updates. Like, I can't.
Maybe watch news from like 15 years ago, and you're like, okay.
That's a good idea.
I was digging through a box, and Rocco has a tape player, so I was teaching him all about cassette tapes yesterday, and we were pulling out old air checks from 1994 of like radio stations in New York. I found some old like PLJ stuff that I had.
Oh, okay.
That's before Kevin.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, like back in the day. So we were listening to news updates from the OJ trial on radio.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
It was pretty funny. It was making me laugh. And Rocco just loves the concept of a tape. Like, he can't believe it.
I love watching old news broadcasts, especially stuff that was, if you're watching a movie or if you're watching something that's got something historical behind it, to go back and watch and see how they reported. It's very fascinating.
It is. You're right. And all that is on YouTube.
A lot of it's on YouTube. You watch one of those serial killer specials, and then you go back and you see all this footage from the 70s and 80s. It's very eerie, but in a neat way.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what?
No, that's cool. I like it. I've been watching Dateline, and what I'll do is like go and like research on the people that like, I love doing the backstory.
If you watch an old Dateline, it's cool because you can then go on the internet and see what really happened after.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know. You have to wait.
You're right.
Got an email here from Joshua. He said, with all the social distancing, would glory holes be a safer option for hookups now?
No.
I think they're never safe. Anonymously blow a dick.
That's not good. But you get comedy points.
It's a good question.
Cesar from Green Acres had a question. A lot of people are going to be going through this. So I'm in a situation without childcare. Our 13, 8, and 3-year-old girls are flying solo. We call them often on FaceTime. My wife will take her lunch at home and then return to work, and I'll do the same if I'm able to. With the new update of schools being closed till April 15th, this has us in a serious panic. We figured this setup for short term wouldn't be too difficult, but now, then you have the schools talk about school from home, online, or sent home packets. Now, besides hoping our kids can keep themselves out of trouble and feed, I have to hope that they can get themselves motivated to educate. I don't see my kids doing school from home without one of us there, which isn't an option right now. What are other listeners doing in a situation like mine? We can't be the only ones out there.
No, but look at it like this. I mean, you are so lucky. You have that 13-year-old, and now you need to lean on that 13-year-old and say, it's time to grow up a little bit. You're going to have to help. This is going to be how you help your family, and hopefully they rise to the occasion because you figured out how to properly motivate them.
And keep in mind, too, this is still very new, and everyone's kind of just trying to get their bearings with it. You'll get in a zone, in a groove. Don't be so hard on yourself. You'll find your stride.
Be happy that you don't have like 2 4-year-olds or 4, 6, and 8. Like, Those people are in a much worse situation. You've got a 13-year-old that can actually legally babysit.
When you were young, would you ever have one of the parents, and it was usually my mom that would do it, and she'd drop this information early in the day. We're having a family meeting later. You're like, oh shit, we're having a fucking family meeting later. That means we're all sitting down and
somebody's messed up.
There's an issue that needs to be addressed, almost like a town hall kind of a thing. But she wouldn't tell you why. She'd ice the kicker. So for 4 hours you're going, shit, what did I do?
It's the worst.
House meeting? Oh no.
That's like the we need to talk of families.
Big time. And it was usually my mom that called that shit.
I like it. I like how she rules stuff. I like the K way.
And that's how you knew you were fucked.
One thing I hope that they do with the online learning is parents will be able to see what the kids were supposed to do that day, and then they'll be able to see what they did. And so whatever time you get home and whatever time they have at night to say, if you want this privilege or that privilege or whatever, this needs to be done. Your work has to be there. You know, if not, then you're going to lose privileges, and maybe you can police them that way when you're not able to stand over them during the entire day. So, but it is going to be tough, and a lot of people are going to try to have to figure out how they're going to make it work with their kids. Don has an idea. He said, turn on your TV and put on your kid's favorite show. Shut the sound off, but turn on the closed captioning. Boom, reading covered.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
I don't hate that.
That's how you get creative. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good for like a little guy like Rocco who's learning to read.
Yeah.
It forces him to do it.
People are asking about in the chat room, do you think there's going to be a lot of babies born? Are you and Panda, you guys getting romantic at all to kind of, burn off some anxiety?
We got romantic last week, but we haven't this week. It's been a little tricky because he was staying in the back bedroom. I mean, he always has respiratory issues, but last week they were really bad, and it's normal for him. So it's not like I'm not too afraid that he has the coronavirus. But, I mean, you don't really try to get your fuck on when you can't breathe.
Speak for yourself.
Right? You can't wear that mask while he's...
Yeah. I'm sorry. There's always a way to win, in my opinion.
This is another thing to think about. Kind of a little call them out, and this is very true, and some people have said that. Honestly, truckers keep America moving, and there's so many supplies that need to be getting around. I agree with doctors and nurses that are doing stuff on the front line, our first responders, medical and food and all that kind of stuff. But if we stopped moving our trucks, the country would crash. I love what I do, and I'm glad I can keep on driving, but we're the ones that can get it the most, especially if we are delivering it to stores like I do. I come in contact with at least 500 people a day. It'd be nice to get recognized. So, Jacob, thank you for that. Yes, to all of our truck drivers that are out there.
I love it.
Too often you go overlooked.
My dad used to be a truck driver back in the 70s. I know I've said that before, but, man, he saw some weird shit on the road.
10-4, good buddy.
The road is its own world, Virginia. Its own fucking world.
Yeah.
Well, the stories I could tell you.
Tell me.
I won't, because I think we're running out of time.
Is Kevin giving you that look like, shut the fuck up?
I could usually get a feel.
Well, this is good advice from Chelsea, too, talking about truckers spreading the word. Listen to this. It was a post that was up on social media, but if you happen to be sitting in your car, eating at a fast food place because the dining room is closed, and you see a truck driver walk to the door and walk away, please ask him or her if you can drive through for their meal. Since walk-up isn't allowed at the drive-through, and they obviously can't take their truck through, they have no way to get their meal. We owe them that much. Spread the word for others to see. We should help them in any way we can. Keep America running. So that's pretty smart. Chelsea, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, help that truck driver get the food for so he can stay back in the truck with his victim.
Yes, exactly. Got an email here saying...
kidding, by the way, kidding.
Yes. Natalie said, just wanted to let you know that the Lindbergh's Lantana location is offering takeout, curbside, and we have delivery dudes at our location. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for other promotional update. But yeah, we had posted up on our KVJ Show Facebook page a listing of the restaurants from Palm Beach and Broward, Miami-Dade, and pretty much everywhere else. And we did say, hey, if there's a place that's not covered on here that is still doing the dine out, take out food, whatever, let us know.
I did the whole dine-out experience yesterday, the delivery system. It did not take that long. It was a little bit longer than normal, but I was pretty impressed with how quick it came in under an hour during the heart of the lunchtime.
Okay.
wasn't necessarily happy with the way it was sealed. It wasn't sealed that good. The guy that brought it, his car was kind of gross. I ate it kind of gingerly and did not enjoy my
Okay, so maybe curbside is better. Let's eliminate this middleman who seems funky.
Well, I was thinking the whole time, what would Virginia be thinking right now? This guy, and I'm not judging the man. I'm just judging the experience. His car looked gross.
Okay.
And it looked like it wasn't clean inside.
This is going to happen with most delivery cars. I believe most of them are not going to be pristine.
So the whole time I'm thinking, my food is not covered completely. It's in this car that's not clean.
I got the perfect solution for you. Once you get the food in the house, you reheat it.
I did.
You reheat it to a temperature that would kill off any kind of funky stuff in it. You throw away any of the containers it was in. You sanitize your hands. You put it in new containers that are fresh and clean in your home.
You lost me at, I don't know, step 8. Whatever.
Wow.
I got the corona.
Yeah.
Well, motherfucker,
that
if
point.
you got it, I got it.
I'm kidding. It's levity. I'm trying
Please
to.
don't get it.
And if you're going to email me about how I shouldn't be making fun, send them to Kevin. He's in charge.
Another thing, we were talking about delivery guys and truckers too. Last week we were talking about a girl that they wanted to do this that diet plan where they come up with everything you need to eat for your body type, but required a stool sample. And she's just been dating this guy not that long. He's a good-looking dude. You don't want to like hand over a turd or whatever
it's
she got
weird.
to do.
I'm sorry. You should feel awkward about giving anyone your poo.
After we talked about that, a UPS driver is like going, I'm the UPS driver, and here is one of those poo in the box.
Oh my gosh! How much? What is that? An elephant? How much poop is
You
I
know
don't know.
that's the symbol for poo? Like you know that's poo?
I don't know.
Is that the
He sent that.
Cologuard?
I don't know what that
That's
is.
the Cologuard logo.
Oh, what is that? I don't even know.
That they run commercials for it on TV. Where,
Colon guard?
Yeah, Cologuard. You can send them your poo and they'll tell you what's the matter with you.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's what it is. Yeah, he said this is a poo box. He said, I've had them leak before.
Oh, hell no.
Dude.
That's when you kick that out the backside of your truck and drive fast.
That's terrible.
Ugh.
Terrible.
They don't pay y'all enough.
No way.
That's why y'all outfit is brown, so when it leaks, you can't see.
That's what it is. Can't tell the brown's going down.
Hated that story, but I guess I needed to hear it. I'm not hating the person that emailed.
No.
I just hate what happened.
It's not his fault.
Not at all. It's not your fault, my friend. Don't you blame yourself.
Mike sent an email. He said, I know you had touched upon why we hear the same bits between radio stations, but this morning I heard one that kind of bothered me because they did not give the bird the credit he deserves. They took Bird's snack bracket and basically word for word used it as their own bit.
Really?
In cases like this, when somebody put a lot of work into it, do you feel that the station or personality that put in all the work should get the credit? Thanks for your time and doing what you do to keep up the great work. Love y'all. Mike.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, I like I'd said before, there's kind of a thing that it's a service, and I represent the KVJ show right for it, and so that was an idea that we'd put up there, and so that's just I do it with that point that other shows can kind of just take it and use it, and we're a writer for them, so that doesn't bother me. Honestly, the only thing that ever does kind of twinge me, and it's not even on the show, but like I had seen there was an email that was going around, I was talking about some of the best bits we saw this week in radio, and somebody is like, hey, this really smart show came up with a coronavirus playlist. They decided to do it 19 songs because of the COVID-19. And they were like, yeah, here's our 19 songs. And it was every song we had on our playlist. Now, we were the first to do that. And I'm like going, okay, I would imagine they probably got the idea from us.
They ripped your exact list and then took
The exact
credit.
idea. And then they had all 19 songs. I'm like, what are the mathematical odds
Very slim.
of that? I mean, it's possible, but and so
What's the name of this show?
But it wasn't, like I said, it's not against the show. It's somebody had heard them do it. They had done our bit. And so they were getting credit. Everybody's like going, hey, it's like the best bits we heard from, but there's no way to get that. And you just have to say, oh, well.
The show wasn't trying to pass it off as their material.
Somebody who writes the best, they listen to radio shows from around the country, and then they're going, hey, this show did this great idea. everybody should do it.
So my opinion is I don't care if they do that.
Yeah.
But what they should do, just on a smarter level, is take the idea and just make it, tweak it a little bit and make it your own.
Yeah.
That's how you're not going to get any heat. I don't give a shit if they use all 19 songs, but just for your own sake, to smarten up your own game, to make it your own original list, because I can see other people coming up with a Corona 19 song. I can see that happening, but to make it identical to your list is...
Yeah, it's got to be something. To me, it's, for us, we will see the germ of an idea. I think even like the World Record Wednesday we did, I saw somebody doing it. I'm like, that fits us very well, but it will sound very unique in how we do it, and we are already trying to break world records anyway. But I'm like, let's do it as a weekly segment for a while and see how it goes.
Well, a lot of times when you kind of get a jumping off point, and that's a great jumping off point just to get some more material out there.
Yeah, we're like, okay, I like that concept. Let's make that as a weekly thing. And so, that's something I'll admit. And on that, I can't remember even where I saw that.
Well, we're not the first show to invent world records.
Yeah, right. So somebody just did it on a Wednesday and like, hey, those all W's, World Record Wednesday.
World Record Wednesday, weird.
WWW.
Yeah.
Wacky Wednesday, weird Wednesday.
I didn't feel compelled to have to give credit on that one. But that's an example of like what KVJ, what we'll do. We typically see the germ of an idea. And the good thing about, and I love, because our show, to me, I think is so unique in a sense that a lot of stuff we do doesn't necessarily fit on other shows, and vice versa. Like, there's not many bits other shows do that we could do and do them that way, because you'd be going, well, that sounds really weird on that show.
For sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't sound right for us.
Well, I think sometimes you can have the same idea with two different groups of people, and you're going to have way different results of what you're hearing.
That sometimes does happen too. Yeah. That's why somebody else, Coronavirus Playlist isn't the most, somebody else could do that. That's why when I saw when they had every night.
In the same order.
When they decided to cap it at 19, and you're right, it was like the exact same order. It was like,
wait a minute.
Mathematically, what are the odds of that?
Rachel said something about Miami station does drunk girl trivia. Other stations have done a form of drunk girl trivia. That's again, I don't know if it's reinventing the wheel of interviewing people when they're drunk.
Yeah, and there are some bits like that I don't remember when we started doing it, who did it after, and it's possible they got it from us. There's a few bits.
I think the Bird did it first.
Facebook
and did it better.
No, for drunk girl trivia, that was an old Todd bit. I actually inherited that from when you guys were just Kevin in Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss Todd.
Kevin, I miss Mariana so much.
Yeah, I know.
That's who we should get.
Maybe we should bring them both back. Yeah.
Have me and Virginia fight for our jobs.
You guys sit out one day and we have Todd and Mariana in here. You guys watch from the window. That'd be unreal. Just watching you both watching Marianne and Todd in here doing the show.
We would end up turning on you so quickly, Kevin. Even though we agreed to
the looks,
Kevin.
The looks I couldn't even imagine. Going through the window. That'd be pretty amazing.
It's so funny, and I hope it does not happen.
But that bit is so old. I don't remember if that was our original or if
even if you, my point is, even if you came up with that idea, I can also see somebody else coming up with the idea of interviewing. Yeah. And you see that in comedy sometimes, where an idea happens, and there's this one joke that they've got 12 different comedians all doing the same exact joke at all different times.
Yeah.
And it's the same premise and everything. And you think, okay, I can see how somebody could come up with a joke like that if it's in pop culture.
Yeah, yeah. And I think actually thinking all the way back, if I remember right, I think we actually did start doing that, but it was kind of a way that Howard Stern did. I think he was doing something with strippers, where he was like trying to make them look dumb, something like that. Do you remember those, Virginia? It was been about 20 years ago, and he would ask them questions like that, and I'm like, oh, what if we kind of did that, but with drunk girls? I think that's how that actually started off.
Okay.
And that was like 20 years ago. So I think we did start doing, but again, that goes to show you that was the setup and the concept was kind of similar to how Howard Stern, I think, had done it with strippers.
But then you just tweaked it.
And made it drunk girls.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how that all went down. So I don't know. I'm obviously I'm old.
You look
I don't
great,
remember
though.
a lot of stuff.
You ain't got old hair.
Yeah. That's right.
Got that fucking looking like a tasty snack over there.
Hair is only 2 weeks old.
It's a baby.
It's a baby.
It is.
That's how it balances everything out, yeah. That's how we do things around here. All righty. Well, thank y'all for locking it in. Back tomorrow. Get your emails to us. Mail at kvjshow.com. mail at kvjshow.com. Y'all be good.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.